All right, everyone. Our first match of week 5 is Developmental Unibeam Inducer versus Agents of W.A.F.F.L.E. We have these two teams going at it finally. Developmental Unibeam Inducer, after so long, going against teams with their full squad intact. If I remember correctly, this has only ever happened 1 or 2 other weeks. Alright, that is Star-Lord getting banned immediately by Agents of W.A.F.F.L.E, Thor immediately getting banned by Developmental Unibeam Inducer. Bless me. The Hela is protected by Developmental Unibeam Inducer, protecting it for Shadowbow. And W.A.F.F.L.E will take some time to think about their protects. They are protecting Doctor Strange for XTML. The next ban coming out is Bucky, banning Tarun's signature hero. The UI taking some time to think about their next ban. It turns out to be Penny Parker. Iron Man protected by DUI, allowing Tarun to have a character he's good at. And the next protect from W.A.F.F.L.E is Groot, making sure the Groot is allowed to play the game. Here we see the Wolverine getting banned. Protecting the Groot from the terrible time of Wolverine. The last ban on the side of DUI will be coming out in a second. It is Cloak and Dagger.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Alright, going into this match, W.A.F.F.L.E is an undefeated team, 4-0 in their previous weeks. Developmental Unibeam Inducer only taking games off of Wits. It is currently, if I'm not mistaken, the first and presumably third seeded teams going into this match. Alright, we see the teams rolling out. Blue Dragon Flood on the Emma Frost with 0 on the Magneto to back him up. We have Super Womp Womp, also known as Shadowbow, on the Hela, and Tarun on the Iron Man. Next we have Fantasy 17 on Sue, and Argus on Ultron, allowing Ultron and Tarun to have the Iron Man Ultron team up, and Zero and Blue Dragon Flood to have the Emma Frost team up with Magneto. For the side of W.A.F.F.L.E, we have Alan the Fast on Groot, with Supplied Bike being the rocket for them. XTML on the Strange. We have Supplied Bike on the rocket, as I said before. First NPC on the Spider-Man, looking to take down Tarun, but not getting him in the end. We see Tarun shooting down main to try and pick off these tanks in the neutral. And the last 2 players for the side of W.A.F.F.L.E are Anti-SPK on the Hela, and Bossman on the Luna that he loves so much. Here we see Blue getting the kill on Alan. Unfortunately, Alan gets rezzed, and Anti-SPK picks down Tarun, who is unable to connect with his ult. Alright, this is Ultron ult coming out from Argus here. Looking to keep his team alive. Blue grabs someone. Unfortunately, he is on the wrong side of history here and will not be able to do anything. Anti-SPK getting a lot of kills, allowing the cart to just push forward here for the side of W.A.F.F.L.E. Alright, XTML purging using the Doctor Strange E. And we see Hell Unleashed here from Anti-SPK. Anti-SPK still using the ult with the Luna ult to back them up. The first point has been taken by W.A.F.F.L.E, and Unibeam are going to have to hold 4 or 5 minutes if they want to stop them here and now. Alright, Tarun on the Iron Man looking to just poke out. Unibeam regrouping, trying to stabilize at the end of second point, allowing W.A.F.F.L.E to just push freely. XTML and Allen taking the space well. Ooh, big ult from Tarun, picking off 3. Argus picking off XTML. Shadow looking to chase Anti-SPK. Zero finishing off the kill, and that was a very clean win for Unibeam on the attack. Or on the defense. Alright. Anti-SPK picking off Tarun very quickly here. Looking to also take down Shadowbow. Blue able to take down XCML on the side here. But the Hela is just trying to go in. This is first NPC using his abilities, trying to kill Blue. Blue able to get saved by Argus's ult. Blue looking to mark Anti-SPK. Grabs Groot. Groot goes down thanks to Blue Dragonflit's quick grab. And Allen is already back by Supplied Bike's res beacon. Now we are back to a stable 6-6. Shadowbow going forward very aggressively using the Hela ult. Looking to deal damage. XTML going up and blocking it. Here we have Argus taking down XTML. Blue grabbing Bossman and killing him. And Unibeam has somehow stabilized this point against W.A.F.F.L.E. Alright. Tarun just getting a lot of poke down main yet again. Anti-SPK looking to pick off Argus, picking him off unfortunately well. One well-placed shot, enough to seal the deal. Zero forced to back up. Here we see the Sue ult come out from Fantasy 17, looking to stabilize his team. There is Tarun's ult yet again, taking down Bossman. Blue looking to get anything done with his ult, but unfortunately nothing happens. XML goes and kills Blue. First NPC taking down Super Womp Womp. And we see the Hela ult come out from Anti-SPK, just helping clean up with XTML looking to finish up kills. Weakened. We're looking at Groot trying to set up to block the point here. Alright. Blue goes in, contesting the point. We see Zero's ult come out, kill Supplied Bike. Tarun marks the Groot. XML goes down second. W.A.F.F.L.E has no remaining tanks. And we see they're forced to back up. Anti-SPK doing damage to Tarun, forcing him to walk around the corner. Super Womp Womp holding on to his Hela ult. Blue and Zero walking very aggressively forward here. Alright, we see first NPC on the side here, looking to possibly get his ult off. Getting seen by Argus. First, unfortunately, not getting anyone. Still not able to play here. That is a Hulk or a Groot ult that is protected thanks to Super Womp Womp. That is a big ult from Tarun. Tarun just getting a ton of kills this game for Developmental Unibeam Inducer. That is the Spider-Man ult coming out. Super Womp Womp is using his Hella ult. And we see the Ultron ult come out from Argus, trying to protect his team. And they take down the three that were contesting point. It's just Bossman on point with his ult. Blue has Strange Portaled back, so he's no longer on the Emma for this last fight. It is the supports and first NPC going down to Argus. And they all clean up. Developmental Unibeam Inducer have protected this back part of the point against Waffle. So Developmental Unibeam Inducer will have 6.5 minutes to make it to the end of second point and beat Waffle. Alright, not seeing any changes to the lineup here for Waffle. Blue back onto the Emma after the Strange Portal. I don't think Unibeam is changing up anything either. I think we are going to see the same teams again. Yep, Waffle has locked in their same composition. We see Unibeam a little unsure of what to pick here. But they have finalized on the same comp as their defense. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
We have beaten death before on our own. It came at a cost.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
We see the top 256 thing come out from Shadowbow, showing that he is indeed a real gamer. Alright, Blue kicking in XCML to finish off the kill. XCML really low. Blue looking to break the res beacon here as Shadowbow walks forward, looking to pick off some low people. Zero is in very deep. Blue is also in very deep. Tanks are being very aggressive here, but it is allowing for Super Womp Womp to just push forward and deal damage. Tarun picking off these low people, allowing for the finalization of kills. And with almost no resistance, Unibeam is just pushing to the end of first point. It's only been a minute and they're already there. Blue is playing forward with Super Womp Womp here, and Argus, they allowed it to push all the way through with 0 stall. That is 5 minutes on the clock for DUI to push to the end of second point. They actually have a better time bank than Waffle going into this. Alright, this is the Ultron ult coming out from Argus. Unfortunately, Tarun goes down. And the tanks are able to actually kite out here. We see as anti-SPK pushes them out. Groot did get grabbed in and killed by Argus. And Shadow going on an insanely long flank, picking off anti-SPK, picking off Supplied Bike. And we see that he can see the first NPC guy through the wall. I forget what exactly causes that. But he was allowed to see it. And with 4 minutes and 20 seconds, Unibeam have have it down to a final fight scenario. This is another Ultron ult from Argus. He gets bubbled by Zero. And we see the Hela ult come out from anti-SPK. Immediately, it gets taken down. The Su ult is forced out by enemies. Tarun's ult, unfortunately, getting blocked by XTML. And that is Tarun getting taken down by first NPC. Finally, they finish up the fight with Alan the Fast's ult. And it is a team wipe onto DUI. W.A.F.F.L.E have stabilized with 3.5 minutes left to defend.
Get that vehicle moving again.
However, they used every ult. The only one they have coming up is Bossman's ult, which can be shut down by Zero if he's able to dunk onto Bossman. We see Blue is pushing forward here. Alright, Blue grabs Groot, kicking him in. And XTML has followed up, trying to protect Alan Fast, allowing him to go away. That is Luna Snow's ult coming out. Anti-SPK picking off Tarun. Argus getting picked off by first NPC, and Shadowbow goes down to XTML. Unfortunate how the cookie crumbles. The tanks are just trying to live here and avoid getting picked off. Tarun picks off first NPC, and we get to watch as they push forward. Groot going down second. Tarun gets a maximum pulse off, taking down Bossman. All of Unibeam is trying to stay alive inside of the Su Storm ult, and only the DPS are gone for Unibeam, and there are 3 ults still available. Alright, XTML has been taken down. Blue looking to use his, Emma ult now that the enemies are down. That is Alan the Fast going down very quickly. Tarun goes down. Unfortunately, Super Wampum is about to get back. Are we going to see Argus's ult come out here? Yes, we will. Unfortunately, Argus goes down, and it is just down to the tanks and Shadowbow to try and clean up against W.A.F.F.L.E. Shadowbow getting 2, Shadowbow getting 3, Shadowbow about to get 4, and it is just Emma Frost, and now it is just Groot. Groot using the ult, trying to protect the team, but no, that is 5 kills from Shadowbow directly, leading a 6-man team wipe. And Developmental, Unibeam, Inducer have taken a map off of the previously unbeatable team W.A.F.F.L.E. W.A.F.F.L.E not having lost a map until right now. I will see you all in round 2. Alright, for our second map, Agents of W.A.F.F.L.E are taking us to Shin Shibuya. Developmental, Unibeam, Inducer choosing to play defense first. And we will see in this second round, first ban from W.A.F.F.L.E is going to be Iron Man, not wanting to deal with Tarun's Iron Man again. We see the first ban from DUI is again going to be the Thor, if I am not mistaken. Really wanted to get rid of it. Yep, the Thor goes again. Here we see a Bucky protect from the side of DUI, making sure that Tarun again gets his character. Here we see Strange getting protected again by W.A.F.F.L.E. And their second ban is going to be here in second. Waffle's second ban is the Star-Lord, trying to avoid Shadowbow's Star-Lord here. The second ban is Rocket Raccoon, stopping Supplied Bike from playing his comfort pick. And we see the Hela get protected by Developmental Unibeam Inducer, allowing for Shadow to play the Hela again. There we see the Cloak and Dagger gets protected by Waffle, not allowing that ban again from Developmental Unibeam Inducer. The final ban on the side of Waffle is going to be Emma Frost, not allowing Blue to play the Emma Frost. Looking to hopefully make him uncomfortable in this matchup. And we see Luna Snow as the final ban, stopping Bossman from playing that character. Alright, we see the adjustment from Unibeam is going to be Tarun now on the Bucky instead of the Iron Man, and Blue on the Strange instead of the Emma Frost, looking to match XTML. The adjustments from Waffle are going to be that instead of Luna Snow, we have Sue on the Sue for Bossman, and instead of Rocket, Supplied Bike's going to be playing Cloak and Dagger. First NPC onto a third support playing Adam Warlock, and the rest of the team of Waffle is the same. So we see, Blue Dragonflood doing a portal play. Very risky. These are good players. I'm not sure if it's going to work here. Let's see. Oh my god! Blue gets 3 of the enemies with his portal and immediately is shot up to 57% ult charge. Holy crap! It gets better with age. Zero playing very far forward here along with Blue. Blue trying to help him kite out. Zero again very far forward. Are we going to see him get picked off? Yes, we are. And we see as XTML goes in trying to fight the Blue. That is a Groot pull. XTML very low here. Blue brawling a little bit. Gets the Strange ult off, but unfortunately it is too little too late here. And we see XTM get Tarun. Yeah, unfortunately Blue wastes his ult, but he made a goddamn statement on first point. Alright. Without the tanks there, DUI is not going to be able to contest here. And it's looking like Waffle is going to get a point for free. Yeah. With 5 minutes on the clock, yet again, Waffle is looking to move into second point here. Shadowboat picking off anti-SPK, winning the Hela duel. And Groot Walls come out. Here we see ult come out from Tarun, but he just uses it to escape at this point. Both support ults being forced out from Waffle. And we see as Blue gets really low, there's a lot of healing coming out. Argus uses his ult to stabilize. And we see as the teams start to push forward to take off enemies. That is Cloak and Dagger getting killed first. Blue walled off, but the wall gets broken very easily by his team. And that is XTML going down to Blue. Tarun picking off first NPC. Shadow then with Tarun picking off Al in the fast. And we see as, unfortunately, Tarun goes down, but most of the team is forced into a corner here by Unibeam.
That's much better.
W.A.F.F.L.E playing on the back foot, which is very surprising given their track record. Here we see Argus beaming at the enemies here. And we see Groodle come out. It is protected by Fantasy's ult on Sue. Blue getting antied because he's not using his burst. And Shadow able to pick off first NPC while getting into ult, looking to do damage. That is XTML blocking with his shield, trying to wait out the Hela ult. The Hela ult getting denied because of it. XTML now looking to push forward here on the enemies. W.A.F.F.L.E is at a numbers advantage, if I'm not mistaken. Or it is 5-5, and both teams are walking from spawn. XTML has gone on Shadow. And we see Blue get a big ult of his own, taking down the backline for XTML. And this fight has swung in the favor of DUI in a mere seconds. Holy hell. That is Blue using a reversal Strangehold and beating W.A.F.F.L.E to the punch. Argus having his ult already to look at any potential re-engages from W.A.F.F.L.E. That is anti-SPK getting really low, forced out by Argus, who's essentially third DPSing at this point. Alright. We see anti-SPK getting low, or that was first NPC, my apologies, first NPC getting low in the back. Ultron ult has come out along with Bucky ult, forcing out the Sue ult. There is going to be a Cloak and Dagger ult here, maybe. Unfortunately, Shadowbow has gone down. We are forced to just the Bucky and the Strange players. Ooh! Blue not having a shield available. Groot able to push the enemies out of the Sue ult. And that is them all going down. That is Unibeam just completely wiped. Will we see W.A.F.F.L.E capture here? It is possible that there's a recontest, but I'm not sure that Unibeam could win it. Alright, the recontest is made. Both of the tanks on point. Ooh, Blue getting an ult. Unfortunately, nothing happens with it. Both Helas on point, getting a lot of kills here. And it is down to the tanks and Argus again. Looking to hold the point here. We see that Zero unfortunately goes down, but Blue is still on point. Blue is still holding. And that is a Bucky ult. Tarun getting 2. Tarun getting 3. Tarun, is he getting the 4th? He gets the 4th. Tarun goes for a 5th. Taking down Alan. He has 6. That is XTML also going down to Tarun at the end. Oh my god. Someone keeps calling my fucking house, ruining my recording. Oh my god.
I'm opening a portal. It seems we have company.
The final 10 seconds.
And that is a portal coming out from W.A.F.F.L.E. There's going to be one last team fight here by W.A.F.F.L.E. Anti-SPK swapping off the Hela onto the Wanda. And that is the Unibeam Sue ult here. Blue went forward, getting one. Tarun picking up these kills as well. Blue also holding shield. Both shields coming out from Unibeam here for that Groot ult. Groot goes down, and Unibeam has just cleaned up here. DUI protecting at the end of second point yet again.
Score is 0-1.
Holy hell.
Time to switch things up, including which side you're on.
Alright.
You'll need a top-notch.
We see going into round 2. Are there going to be any swaps here from Unibeam? And it's looking like Wanda is going to be played instead of Hela, with the Strange, trying to match the Strange Wanda team up. Not sure how it's going to work for Unibeam, but DUI is looking really strong going into this round. Will we see a potential portal come out from XTML to try and get revenge for what Blue did at the start of this map? Anti-SPK has swapped over to the Psylocke. But other than that, both teams are looking the same, with the exception of the previously mentioned Wanda. XTML is not looking to do a portal play here, at least presumably. Oh. Oops.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the
Here we see as Unibeam takes their time walking out of spawn, making sure not to get portaled off. See as Shadow is going over the top, looking to come from above. Shadow on a flank. XTML getting punched in by Unibeam. Unfortunately, anti-SPK goes down on his flank. And Shadow is now behind the supports, almost taking down first NPC. Actually taking down first NPC. Tarun already had his ult, unfortunately missed everyone, but Shadow just had a nasty flank and got most of the enemies off. Going up, Tarun looking to chase the Atom with Shadow and both get the kill. Tarun finishing off XTML, and that is going to be a point cap for Developmental Unibeam Inducer. Shadow still forward here, taking down anti-SPK on the Wanda. And Shadow's forced away here. Here we see Strange versus some others. And this is Shadow using the Wanda ult. It's actually taking down Bossman. They're down to only first NPC as a healer. And Tarun goes in with the Bucky ult, taking down first NPC, taking down Alan, taking down XTML. Unfortunately, there are no more kills here for Tarun. But that is another amazing Bucky ult from him. And Unibeam is just able to push forward here. Anti-SPK swapped off the Psylocke back onto the Wanda. I missed if that happened last fight or this fight. There are 6 or almost 6 ults on the side of W.A.F.F.L.E and 4 ults on the side of DUI. Here we see Strange ult come out. Both support ults coming out from W.A.F.F.L.E with the exception of Rez. That is... Ooh, Blue's portal goes down, or shield goes down, unfortunately. And that is a lost team fight for Unibeam. They just have to kite out at this point. They cannot win the 3v6. Yep, Zero goes down, Argus goes down. Fantasy looking to escape. Oh my god, I'm gonna pause the fucking recording. Who is calling me? Alright, unpausing 4 times in 10 minutes is fucking insane. I have the phone next to me, so I can snap it in half the next time someone calls my goddamn phone. Alright. Blue portaling to point, swapping onto the Strange for it, trying to end the fight here and now. Argus goes through. Blue has the heals. Unfortunately, it looks like, yes, Shadow did miss the flip, but, or the portal, but we see as Tarun's able to get some kills here. Tarun here going forward, looking to get some kills. Blue going down to XTML. Here we see a great dunk from Zero. Shadow getting the kills onto the enemies, and with that, we might actually see a fight win here. Blue is coming back with his Strange Portal, or with his Strange Ult. That is first NPC going down. That is Bossman getting his ult out just before getting killed by Blue's ult. And we see as Zero goes down, unfortunately. Unfortunately, XCML gets protected by his team, so there is no kill there. But Argus takes down anti-SPK, and we are allowed to push back forward here. DUI going forward, trying to end this fight quickly. We're looking at Shadow. That is an ult on to point here. And Groot gets stopped. 2 going down to Shadow's ult here, and we see yet another Bucky ult in the bank. Grabbed by the enemies. Alright, we see Tarun's ult come out. That is 2 going down. Next is XCML. XCML going down, and it is now just a snowball here. Tarun is taken down yet another. Yet another. He has 5. That would have been 6 if Alan didn't die first. And DUI, against all odds, have taken down the unkillable king of the game. Holy shit. W.A.F.F.L.E ending their run in the season, unfortunately, as undefeated. W.A.F.F.L E still the top team, but they have bled. And how will this go forward? But with that, we will be going to a third map. Going into the final map, W.A.F.F.L E opted to take us to Hell's Heaven. And Blue is showing off his newly acquired Venom Lord. DUI looking to jokingly play some dive here. XCML hovering over the Venom with Bossman and anti-SPK on the Jeff. We see Bucky gets banned immediately by W.A.F.F.L E, not wanting to deal with that yet again. And the Thor gets insta-banned by Developmental Unibeam Inducer, not wanting to deal with first NPC's Thor. Alright, next we see a Hela Protect for Shadowbow, making sure he is allowed to play the Hela. Alright, the Strange is protected again by W.A.F.F.L E, making sure that XCML is allowed to play Doctor Strange if he so wants. Next, we see the Iron Man ban against Tarun, making it so that Tarun is forced onto an uncomfortable character. The Rocket getting banned again. Now with no characters left for Tarun to play. He's looking to play the Hawkeye this game, actually. And what will we see come out as the Protect for Unibeam? The Emma Frost. Developmental Unibeam Inducer looking to protect Blue's Emma Frost now that Tarun has been targeted banned. The Cloak and Dagger gets protected yet again for W.A.F.F.L E. We're looking to see their final bans. The ban is on to Ultron, not allowing Argus to play the Ultron again. And Groot is the last ban here.
Pick your hero or villain. I'm not judging.
And we're looking to see how the teams are gonna shape up here. Alright, we see interesting ideas. We have one Reser here. Alright. So our teams walking out are going to be let's start with W.A.F.F.L.E. First NPC on the Spider-Man, Alan on Magneto, Applied Bike, excuse me, on the Cloak and Dagger, with Bossman on the Luna Snow, XCML on the Venom, and Anti-SPK on the Magic. This is a dive, it's like a very dive-oriented line here for W.A.F.F.L.E. For Unibeam, we have Super Womp Womp, also known as Shadowbow, and Argus on the Res Comp, with Argus being Adam and Shadow as Star-Lord. Blue is on the Emma still, with Zero still on the Magneto. Fantasy still on the Sue, and Tarun on the Hawkeye, now that two of his characters have been banned. Looking to see if he'll get any picks off here. Right, Zero went very hard in, getting low, but using Bubble to protect himself. Blue is low here as well. We see as first NPC is going to get that kill onto Shadow with Magic. Magic pushing forward, going very low, getting picked off. Shadow is looking to pick off the Venom here with the rest of DUI. And it's really unfortunate, but I don't see W.A.F.F.L.E. having won this yet. Oh, Shadow goes down to a good Spidey pick. And we see Fantasy has used ult on point for stabilizing DUI. Alright, that is Hawkeye ult coming out from Tarun using the blast arrows. And Tarun unfortunately goes down. Argus going down shortly after. It is just Shadowbow and the tanks left for DUI. They are trying to kite out, but unfortunately it is looking over for them. Yep. Anti-SPK just getting a ton of kills off as this Magic. Anti-SPK holding the right click, looking to take down one. Alright. Blue has swapped over to the Thing, looking to play a very anti-dive here. Unibeam on a very relatively really good anti-dive comp. Looking to try and put an end to W.A.F.F.L.E. terrorizing them. Anti-SPK did take down Argus there, and Blue got picked off. And that is just ult soup for W.A.F.F.L.E. Just taking down everyone with first NPC's ult. Highly unfortunate here. 55% on the board for W.A.F.F.L.E. Point is moving closer to spawns now. And we're just watching Anti-SPK, who has been dominating so far. Alright, Unibeam playing a little bit slower. Shadow now on a flank here. Tarun swapped off the Hawkeye and is on Moon Knight now. We see the Magic looking to try and survive here. Magic getting saved by the supplied bike ult. And that is a Thing ult coming out. Anti-SPK dying. And Blue is looking to stay on point and just take down the rest of the supports. Alright, Blue has jumped back forward. Shadow now holding off these supports. Shadow trying to survive first NPC, taking him down. And that is Luna Snow ult. There's 99% here from W.A.F.F.L.E. And Zero has gone down, unfortunately. Blue's still on point, and we see Argus revive Zero. Super Womp Womp almost going down. And Blue is still in the front line looking to just take the enemies down. That is a big stun. One of the supports getting stunned. Supply Bike actually going down to Blue. That is another going down thanks to a follow-up from Zero. Blue still going forward, looking to try and kill the enemies here. Picking off the Luna. Now picking off... That is Blue taking down most of the team with ult and just running it down. Thing really good into these dive-heavy comps. W.A.F.F.L.E has not made any adjustments yet. We still have them on their starting lineup, looking to hopefully just win the fight instead of swapping. Alright, Argus using one of his heals already. Shadow just trying to kill here. That is a Sue ult on point. We see Unibeam is starting to kite over to it. Blue jumping into the backline yet again. First NPC going down. Blue looking to hit Splight Bike. That is both support ults coming out from W.A.F.F.L.E already. And NTSPK did go down to a nice pick from Zero. This is looking really, really winnable for Unibeam. And that is Thing ult again picking up both supports. And Zero dunks on their head. We get to see as Unibeam has won the fight yet again, thanks to good team play. Really, really good here. That is my Discord going off. Let me turn on Do Not Disturb. I apologize. My fault. Hold on. Apologies, I got another fucking phone call. These scam callers will not leave me alone, and I want to turn off my home phone. Alright, it is down to the final fight here. Unibeam going against W.A.F.F.L.E. Anti-SPK in the Magic ult, looking to take down anyone here, but unfortunately, Fantasy does go down in the end. Anti-SPK also picking off Argus. Blue taking down Bossman. Blue going down in the end. It is just Tarun now on the Psylocke. And Zero. Zero did actually go down. So it is just the DPS here. And we see as Blue is looking to portal, Shadow has gotten the touch off. And the portal does go off. Blue now on the portal. Yeah, the entirety of Unibeam or DUI has gone through the portal with the exception of Argus. That is Fantasy on the Sue popping the ult to protect the team. Shadow now using his ult. Blue picking off 2. Argus picking off another. That is 3 down. That is 4 down, or 5 down, sorry, 6 down. The entirety of W.A.F.F.L.E has gone down, and Unibeam are looking to pick up the win against W.A.F.F.L.E here. Good shit. That is DUI picking up the first point in a 99-99 scenario. Very, very close here. But DUI found the answer to the dive-heavy comp that W.A.F.F.L.E was running. Are we going to see any changes from W.A.F.F.L.E here? Zero looking to swap to Captain America. I'm not entirely sure why. Shadow on the Reed character. Mr. Any Size You Need Richards. At this point, I just gotta wonder if Blue is screaming at his team. Alright. Zero back on the Magneto. XTML has gone... Emma, swapping off of the Venom. So the DPS are still very dive heavy. Unibeam will have to watch out for that. Alright. We see in the first fight, Shadow doing the first bit of poke here. Most of the team is forward. Magic now going down main, deciding not to take the duel against Shadowbow here. Anti-SPK having Darkchild here. Will we see it come out? So far, we don't see it. That is first NPC's ult coming out, picking off Fantasy and Argus. Zero going down to anti-SPK, and it is just Blue who has died on point, and Shadow is forced to retreat. Alright, 3 ults on the board for Developmental Unibeam Inducer. W.A.F.F.L.E with 0 ults, but coming up on 2. Shadow did take down first NPC here. We are at a team advantage, or a numbers advantage. Tarun picking off Alan the Fast, looking to finish up Supplied Bike if possible. Supplied Bike going down to Shadowbow. Shadow running in, looking to try and pick off Bossman, which he does. And it is just anti-SPK in the back getting picked off by Blue, who is peeling for the supports. And Unibeam has control of the point now. DUI looking very strong this week. Alright, Argus taking down first NPC here. We see anti-SPK on Shadow. Shadow able to get out with good movement here. Looking to re-engage. That is anti-SPK getting ulted by Blue and taken down. That was just fucking mean. Alright, and Zero dunks on Supplied Bike. Shadow using his ult to kill Bossman. That is 3 ults come out from DUI, and the fight is won by them. First NPC now on the Punisher. For how long has this been going on? I do not remember. Presumably very recently. Alright, we see Blue very far forward, getting bubbled, forced to back away. Alright, Blue getting very low yet again, and that is Punisher ult. Unfortunately, there are no ults, there is no Magneto ult to mark that. Tarun getting taken down as well, Blue going down. This is Unibeam almost completely wiping because of that really good ult from first NPC, who's now chasing Shadow down. Alright, Tarun has swapped to the Psylocke yet again. I think. What was the swap there? I'm not sure, I was not paying attention. Oh, Blue swapped back to the Emma Frost. My apologies, I could not tell what happened. Blue now back on the Emma Frost. Missing the kick onto the magic. But now that W.A.F.F.L.E is down to just magic, Blue's feeling more confident to get off the thing here. Alright. Both supports going down to Darkchild and Emma Frost ult here from W.A.F.F.L.E. And that is just Shadow left on point. And Unibeam are looking to make their recontest, their final recontest for this point. Blue using Portal very early. See Bossman getting some heals off. We have Cloak and Dagger with ult here. Blue went in first. XTML very far forward as well. Blue goes down. XTML trades out. Those are both Emma Frost going down. Argus bringing back Blue. It is a little delayed, but Argus did bring them back. Shadow taking down a lot here with Argus. And that is Shadow getting 6 kills. For the love of God, stop this man. 90% left or 90% on point. Supplied Bike is looking to make the contest. Blue on the side here. Supplied Bike does go down, but Tarun also goes down. Blue grabbing XTML, looking to try and get him off, but unfortunately no dice. Zero doing the double bubble with the Emma Frost team up. And we see another ult comes out from first NPC, but it is kited with the, or is protected by the Sue Storm ult. Darkchild and Luna Snow ult coming out here, looking to try and beat Unibeam. Tarun swapping over to the, what's it called? Blue actually picking up the kill onto anti-SPK. Tarun now onto the Captain America, trying to just contest here, make sure this fight lasts as long as possible. Argus taking down Bossman, but this Tarun getting the pick onto Supplied Bike. There are no more supports for the side of Waffle, and this is just going to be them walking them over. And DUI has 3-0'd Waffle, not giving any ground during this match. Was great changes from both teams to adapt mid-match. These are some very strong teams, and I am excited to say UI is looking up, and Waffle is still looking as strong as ever. It's a 3-0, but it should be taken on the chin. Waffle's still an amazing team this tournament, and the UI have won this one. See you all next